using their flash on Vice to get out in mid, but they see nobody there. And so it's back to the drawing board. They don't get their initial fight, and they don't take deep space knowing that there'll be a Vice wall covering BBL's back.
Already. One player does get sectioned off that wall, maybe not lasting quite as long as before, so they will be quickly back into the action. Aggressive positioning already being held. In fact, not so much held, taken.
They're pushing right up for it, and Filu ready to catch that bait as it comes on in and follow up for another. This gets tough now for BBL. Everybody trapped on the backside. Movistar KOI might not expect them all to be here, but now they've got that info to play with. LewN down on 14, and the last man standing for BBL. He won't be standing for long by the looks of things. The defuse tapped and the shot start.
Really?
Yeah. It was that ace is still fresh in my mind and will be probably for the rest of the year. It's bought him a lot of wiggle room.
Covering it.
Smoke down deep is pushed Grubinho back. It's going to let them get really close, and with so many pistols in play, that's exactly what you want. Yes, Magnum goes down. He's trying to watch that A push up, and the fact that they walk into him, he's only got a classic. Definitely not the man you'd expect to win the fights, but with the push on A, they decide to take this to the B site. And Grubinho, well, he just about sidestepped those shots in time. He's got support, though. flyuh stood here, outlaw in hand, and this is a problem. Everybody is vulnerable to just one shot of that rifle taking them down, but they managed to close the distance. They find out about the rifle, deal with it well as well. Okay. Not bad from BBL to start with. Jamppi making it a bit more costly.
If they are going to go through it together, they need to get that timing right. And flyuh's already just waiting for it to be tripped, but doesn't win the battle. An important opener for LewN. Now they can get themselves into a post bomb.
Yeah, much needed indeed. BBL have to dodge that Hunter's Fury. It's coming in hot, and it's landing. Sociable down, and soulcas with a massive punish. Now again, they have to pick up the pieces. The spike down at least. Time, not necessarily on their side. There's still quite a bit for Movistar KOI to work with, and they're not in a hurry. Spotting Magnum from the top rope. sheydos might have sealed the fate of another round. Great shock dart, and the push.
100% volume, and then somehow ups to 200%. LewN is going to be taking the charge, though. Immediate space garnered, a passive hold from KOI this time. It seems like they've had the expectation. Instead, they're going to try and sell the idea with that Hunter's Fury, and it's an easy double pickup. A great start after the pause. And now it's a tough round to break back from.
Look at the wall that you have here. There's no need to even commit many players to watching your back when you flank, and even the illusion of a flank.
I think it's done incredibly well at slowing this squad so far, but now they look to run towards that B site once again, where only flyuh is waiting for them. That one, though, comes for free.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a risky play from Magnum. You expect maybe someone to be swinging with him, but the timing's slightly off. He ends up going down for free. Movistar KOI content then, certainly to play that retake, which they might have been forced into anyways. But at this point, they'll be keen to deploy exactly what you're highlighting, Tom. In fact, Filu's away ahead of you, already going in with the dimensional drift, and soulcas hoping that he can find himself a target. They've seen one up close. LewN won't be getting away with that. And of course, it's sheydos to connect again.
Yeah, and now there's nowhere really to go. Almost caught out by the salvos, having to play that deep post plant. BBL did realize that this double ult combination was there in potential, but playing looking super impressive.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the big conversation around this squad, especially like keep in your mind, we said if they lose this series, chances of qualification, very low. But the big phenomenal start with 5-1, and as you said, 11-0 for sheydos. This crunch now puts pressure on flyuh. The flash was perfect. Magnum doing well, putting flyuh in the dust, and they move to the B side.
Yeah, they've standing ahead. They popped the steel gun? No, I think they held it. Maybe realizing that they can clear that space without needing to utilize that ultimate. flyuh also lost his on the other side, and one thing I want to note, last time out when we watched Sociable, he was fantastic when it came to that attack side operator. First time we've had that in play. I think for the defense now, okay, you got some extra credits, but the amount of time that's been bought by the Steel Garden, it seems like this one's done, but they are still challenging for this.
Still pushing forward. BBL happy to greet this party as they find themselves a 3v1 time well and truly ticking away, and sheydos swinging into heavy area. Let me do a little draw on. Woo! And this is because they've got these passive positions in play where they don't want to fight you in those spots. They want to fight you coming out of them.
Looking like the A site is where they will challenge. We've said this before, soulcas's goal is just to delay. Slow them down as much as possible, but the re-swing doesn't find much. A Hunter's Fury, they've been investing orbs, and also sheydos has been eliminating everybody, but this time it doesn't do the damage they were hoping for. An incredibly open plant as well, allowing for positioning towards Art, which is where the majority of this squad will lie, potentially to try and avoid that Steel Garden. It is a big area, though.
Yeah, it's going to cover a lot of ground. Oh, the shot from Sociable doesn't land, and ult comes into play. Fires off one with great success. sheydos down, and they're turning tail. They're running the other way, but Jamppi's got him boxed in. He's going to make this beyond costly for Movistar KOI. And on your way back into the series, after being decimated to start this out, this is exactly what you want to see if you're a BBL fan. They might just leave Grubinho to save the weapon, but that's 5-3, and BBL hot on KOI's heels. Contentious with sheydos still holding it. But it'll put a lot of pressure on flyuh with his back and his front wide open for a push. Or maybe it even benefits him. Still being in this position, Salvo's buying him away back. The smoke, he's now on backside, 20 seconds left. They're gonna have a lot to contend with. They're forced forward into flyuh's hands. One found as soulcas backs him up at the trades. They're still going back and forth. The spike on the ground with 12 seconds left. BBL need to pick up the pace here. Jamppi wants a safe spot to plant from. Sociable needs to hit this shot, but his arsenal, the arsenal of BBL taken away. The shorty good for one. Sociable escaped just about. And the ult comes down, a shot needed here, and it's clean! The conversion to the pistol, the headhunter not finding its mark, but the up comes back. Last time they backed up, they gave the space away.
Look how deep he is in this position. Like, look where the rest of the team are as well. Like, you're talking about a squad that's on the other side of the map, pushing into the spawn, and he is on the site. sociablEE is taking absolute liberties. They're going to sell the idea. He got you with the shorty! This guy's playing ranked. He's playing ranked. He sold a fake just trying to do that. But the spike was actually going back in his direction. So now with 25 seconds left, they're walking into an A site that still has 2 players within it.
Perfect. That's a misread. That's a big misread. Yeah, of course, the big rotation hadn't come off the B site. There were still 3 players close, and now 12 seconds. Spike needs to go on the site. There's no time to stop. Just run forward, and they'll win the fights. No way! They've managed to recover this with a plan.
Rotating in. Like, this was dumb. I don't know how he gets that far with nobody knowing, but then to turn this back around is a...
Movistar KOI. They've fought what they can, and a Guardian seems to be enough. sociablEE, he's had so many high-impact rounds, but they got sick of him on B. Pushed up, took him out, and now we see what the rest of the squad can do without that huge operator play. 11, good for 1, but flyuh's matching a 3-piece. And LewN's only got 2, but the plant, well, that might give them a chance with LewN creeping up inside the smokes. He wants to take the fight to them. And he has matched the performance on the other side, gotten his ult as a result, but Movistar KOI also have the info. Can they deal with LewN? No flashes to work with, but just baits for his teammate. Wonderful stuff, leaving Grubinho alone.
This is not the gun you want in this moment. And there you go, a rifle found at least. Can at least smoke things off and try and just stick this under their noses. He's going for it. Halfway done, tries to bait the remaining players in, but has already left the smoke. First shot lands. A little bit of extra damage.
If you pause this at round 6, I wouldn't be guessing BBL would leave with the lead, but they have done that. Let's see if they can make the comeback all the way to a 1-0 start after the break.
That's the great thing about it, is you have the trap if they go one way and the wall if they go the other, but they're all going to step over it at once. Good timing from the side of Movistar KOI, but it will allow for the rotation to come back in. An aggressive potential spot from LewN, but he will be overwhelmed. PROFEK now in horrible position.
They know he's here too. Just looking to push together, jumping through the smoke as 3. And they will easily deal with PROFEK. Movistar KOI, they had a great start. 5-1 in the previous map, and looking to repeat that here with another pistol. Shock darts go through, time quite low, and the plant needed right now. No time. if that plant is stopped, then Jamppi at least has it boxed in!
Right. That was a delectable clutch, lads.
Splendid play, gentlemen.
He's been listening too much to Pal.
Understandable. I do that all the wall, you would think, but this time it's a little bit more passive, I suppose.
Yeah,
allowing them to push up through this archway, and they're going to take advantage of that potentially. No, they're not. But the walls split them in two. LewN has a real chance. If he was full HP, I'd be confident he'd connect it. Instead, ends up baiting out some of those Razor Vines, taking the TP back towards spawn. A passive hold from BBL, and it might just be that they're forced to play the retake. I see them step forward, revealed, one player on the back of the site, and they both swing into sheydos! But LewN from up top, even with low HP, he's giving them a chance.
Yeah, it makes me nervous when I see that sociablEE is still alive, because I think this guy's BS meter is off the charts.
Gun here.
Chance for a weapon to be retrieved. Flankers wall coming in, but how will be that gun picked up? sociablEE already getting maybe a little bit further, but eventually soulcas in position. And now the question is, just PROFEK to learn from this round that, okay, that wall is going to be... worry is where the spike is. It's currently left completely on its lonesome. sheydos seemingly aware of the potential, but he's got to be careful, because if he goes down, that's not worth it.
Getting the side, so huge delay there. That's why they're stacked up on A, and Movistar KOI about to learn a lesson about the setup that's in play, about the numbers they'll run into. They take out LewN, that will spur them forward, but Tom, still 3 players here.
Filu already gone, the stuns are nice, but even still sociablEE could play ahead of them and escape without too many issues. The gap wasn't seen though, and actually they've managed to trade this back. Make it look doable for grubinho. Someone who's always been solid in these sort of scenarios, has found the space, but still doesn't know where Jamppi's coming from. Had a decent idea, but the timing
seen it absolutely everywhere at this point. It's right on your screen. They'll use the decoy again to bait that out, so no information to be held early by BBL. Bar
has been given up, be it a stack or a wall or anything of the sort. And on the other side of things, they've now gone aggressive on that side of the map. sociablEE still in position. Drone coming his way, but you know that he's going to be tempted to stick around, and they don't even wait for the drone to actually clear off this angle. He's been able to hold on, gets 2 for his money. And well, the drone attempted to clear him. sheydos has done well though, at least bringing things again back into contention. And because he killed off sociablEE, you now don't have the trap here on mid.
30 seconds left.
The wall was triggered on A as well. Movistar KOI know there's a flank likely underway, but they're caught up in the push towards the site. soulcas better be watching their back, but now losing flyuh, they have to spur forward. The door's wide open for MAGNUM. And he's gonna walk right into play with 12 seconds left. There's no time. They need to get on that site.
From flyuh to get the steel garden online. We know how impactful Armageddon can be, and hey, if PROFEK wants to spam a smoke with Vandal bullets, it's not going to get much easier for them.
Okay, ult goes in, but no real ground take.
They only just
response from BBL. They just sit back, waiting for that ult to come into completion so they can take down flyuh. And that's the rifle for Movistar KOI. There's one to be retrieved, and it will be picked up by soulcas. Post-planned ultimates, sheydos and soulcas can do a lot, but MAGNUM's coming in. And he's managed to find soulcas, somehow leaving grubinho alive, but not for long.
He's got Stinger.
The flyuh's got it all to do, on range, Stinger to Spectre.
Right, we're going to hold B, MAGNUM hold A.
You know, I read from a coach before, if they stack B, we should go A. I think that's what they're going for here. Whether the result is going to be found or not, well, that is still to be seen as MAGNUM finds a double, and he's left down to a shorty. But if they try to pounce on him from here, LewN can be more than capable of providing that bit of support. They're sent out by the salvos. The gate crash used to keep him alive. But Movistar KOI, they get the sight for that ult, but they lose so much in this 3v5. Their flank is open and being pushed on. They need space, and they try to fight for it, but MAGNUM stands in their way. A bastion of defense for this squad, and an ace under.
On the day it went horrifically, and they've decided to scrap it and go back to a much more aggressive, fast-paced sort of comp. Already though, the initial fight will go the way of BBL, and we'll continue in that direction. LewN up top. the Turkish jet in the server is enough for me to be convinced, but we'll see how this one goes. It's a firefight into middle, and sheydos, well, I don't think he's starting this
we'll
one.
often look to him as the operator play to land those duels. That's a Spectre!
That was a Spectre caught off guard. Maybe I was right, Zeren.
Whoa, at this stage, Tom, are you giving good odds? I might put something down. This is, that's tough. 2-0 is the scoreline, and it may get even better for BBL. flyuh, well, he's going to make sure that's not too likely.
That's
Second flank coming up, though. It's LewN on his way. Outlaw in hand. PROFEK picks another. The upgrade for LewN wasn't heard. They ran to plant the spike, so no idea that there's a man sneaking up. They go to clear it, but they're not clearing this avenue where he's already up close and ready to fight. 17 HP, but he's done enough. Look, well, he's done more now. Taking soulcas. They had a weird comp. Now it's looking a bit better. And Movistar KOI are, yeah, they're not KC. PROFEK shredding them around yellow, just dancing about. He'll eventually fall, and that puts us into a 3 versus 3. A good chance for Movistar KOI to make up for a fumble in round 3. And it looks like, yeah, but look, that's the rifle on flyuh. The rest of them still have pistols. This fight, a little closer, a little more even than it might look like.
Still plenty of time to play with.
Great nano.
Solid nano to clear position, stun to try and bait flyuh into letting go of the plant, but he will stick it through. One away from having the Hunter's Fury, one away from having that kill contract. Ultimate's incredibly close, and the turret looking to try and take contact from them here. Diving into space will be LewN. And now sociablEE is all that stands in their way. They still got to be careful, though. We know what this guy can do in clutch situations. A sniper, normally his weapon of choice, but just got to look to try and bait them into the plant at this stage. It looks like the deal is already done, not knowing where those remaining players are going to be standing from. A nice shot onto flyuh, but surely at this stage, the time is way too far gone. And while sheydos, they may not add a kill to the tally, it will win a round.
Ultimate from flyuh, that was sidestepped by PROFEK. Still going to be alive, ready to slow that push. The wall in play causes problems, but they've already got a man ahead of it. Late play towards the B site. The flank on its way from grubinho as we speak.
They're going back.
And so they're content to play it slow and back off, but magnum's filled in that space. He grabs one, slows their retreat, 35 seconds left. But as he goes back to this B site, they have to be so aware of this potential flank play. Oh, magnum's got another. They are very much slowed down, but now here's the opportunity for grubinho to maybe even guarantee this round. It's a 3v4. He needs to find value here.
The problem is that the Armageddon is still available. They have to find a safe place to actually plant this, otherwise there goes the ultimate. It's going to drag him from behind, needs to stick it over the line, and hasn't managed to get it. It was the perfect position. You even saw the pings on the map just before it. They knew where it needed to be. But not a man whose crosshair I'd want to walk into, just looking for some taps through. He got caught for this in the last map, but, well, flyuh's the one to bite the brand. That's two! That's two just on spams!
Oh, and now he's got one that they're in the open. PROFEK putting up the numbers, leaving flyuh and sheydos all alone. The spike at least planted. The alarm bot covering their back, spotted by LewN. He'll try to creep his way past it. He's gotten through, but they heard him. And flyuh is in there for his 3rd kill of the round. The spike still ticking. What looked to be a lost cause has been pulled back.
Right, but maybe some slight overextensions from the BBL squad. They're feeling pretty confident right now.
Yeah, you can't blame PROFEK for it. He already picked up 3. Why not keep on going? But, well, the ball stopped rolling pretty quickly. Look at this aggressive position taken by LewN. Catching sheydos off guard, getting out of here will be tough, but he's got the cover. In fact, no, he doesn't back off. He sticks around despite losing players in any vision over belt. soulcas takes it for free. And a 3 versus 3 ults online for Movistar KOI as well. If they can get the plant down, they've got flyuh and soulcas to deny. This will be a very difficult round for BBL to recover if they're in a post plant.
Yeah, this is one of the most powerful post plant combos you can have. Jamppi being alive would have been nice. As he has the ideal denial, but I like this from Movistar KOI. Just pausing for the moment. Still 2 players here. PROFEK in a very aggressive position. I don't know if he'll be expected. And he's just so clean with it. The tabs coming off the back of this Vandal. Well, yeah, you'd think maybe he's not just Polish, he's half Turkish, because that has been utter filth. He's been learning from the best, it seems, and now the rest of the squad are just sitting passively, looking to try and fight this together. True.
BBL have everything to work with in that regard. An outlaw in the hands of Jamppi this time to the B site, which leaves PROFEK, understandably, playing with a Phantom. But a silencer inside this ult, and the ult is safe. He's nice and high up.
They'll run back in.
At this point, it's going to cause problems if they don't get back in the pit on time, and it looks like just about getting there.
Okay.
Filu grabs one, but they know where he is! Diving down, LewN falls, but PROFEK converts. And the problem is, they've got to stick inside that pit. Have one of their own down at least, so those players will start to decay.
Look how deep the positioning as well from Grubinho. Like, clearing him out is almost going to be impossible. He's just not facing any of these angles. This post plant is nasty. The knife has been utilized, and I believe will have connected onto him, but I think that's irrelevant at this stage. PROFEK just trying to bait someone in, but well, with how close sheydos is sitting, it's all too easy. soulcas. There may still be further pressure put forward. Now, this is a spot LewN's already played, Mitch.
He has. Grubinho only getting his weapon out now. I was worried he was coming around that corner with a knife.
He's in the drone.
Up goes the drone, and an opportunity LewN will not let slip. Taking down flyuh, but he loses his life in the process from Movistar KOI.
Hunter's Fury gone.
This could be ideal. Yes, Hunter's Fury gone, but with Filu having the ult online, if they can pick one player out, the advantage is theirs to play around. Jamppi, the man with the operator, and he's pulled into the ult. The classic needed to break shield, and he's not going to find the kill. Filu, wonderful ultimate used, and Movistar KOI with the advantage as a result.
Careful. We've seen PROFEK popping off. Sociable down, and eventually on the edge of that Viper screen, sheydos should have put this one to bed. We've already had a huge round or two from MAGNUM in the last map, but this would likely be the best of them. And with their economy, Turkish duo, it's not just looking to hold down the B site, they're looking to take further ground.
They've pushed all the way up, and with weaker weapons, you expect this kind of a risk. Sociable picking off flyuh, and I don't think he's going to take that drone out for the rest of the half. Only one round left. Lockdown comes into play. BBL send, Movistar KOI scrambling backwards, and the Blade Storm eagerly awaiting them. A double pickup, and then...
You had the aggressive push down. Again, I think flyuh being completely alone using a drone. I understand the concept was to sell a fake, but it's just such an easy pickoff. Okay, yeah, they're going to try and force him out with the Armageddon. I think a bit of an unorthodox position, though. You're not normally going to try and clear that ground a little bit early. Will get caught out and take quite a bit of damage. And now saving that Hunter's Fury for the post. They're in a very good spot here, Movistar KOI.
Yeah, it's a double flank on mid. Even if sheydos goes down, expecting Grubinho to be there is unlikely, and he's covering his back the whole time, so they've got extra security. But BBL have retaken this all through spawn. They're here as 5. Sending one out, MAGNUM, to look for that lurk through middle. They know that it's a possibility, if not a probability, and MAGNUM's got his timing. But he's not landed the shots to fight towards the alleyway. Good to start with. PROFEK doubling up on his duels. And a little more needed, but soulcas the only one standing in their way. He's got the first, the second even, and Grubinho. A lineup worth giving his life for now.
That step hard. I think maybe a little bit too far back. So Grubinho is still completely unaware of how far forward his opponent has managed to get. And unfortunately, the person who could end up taking the brunt of this would be flyuh. But it seems like there's at least a little bit of awareness. The fake being sold on the other side of the map. And flyuh, if he walks back even a step or two, he could be in real sharky water. In fact, with the rest of the team going back in the other direction, there's no way anybody expect anyone to be here. So many gaps to be found, but flyuh at least managing to find that trade.
Wasn't in his drone this time. Ready to take the fight. The creep up coming through from Sociable could find huge value. He's jumped up, it's a perfect angle. Nobody's spotting him. Sociable with a free play, at least onto one, and damage done to soulcas. Making it a little easier for the rest of the squad to follow up. In fact, the turret almost found one at that point. It's time to show up for Movistar KOI, or this one
That's
could
the B side
quickly
open.
slip
There's no one
away.
else there.
Grubinho falling, like you said, Tom. That is the site open for the taking, but sheydos steps in to try to put up a fight, to stop them and slow them on the push, but instead he has fallen and left Movistar KOI maybe in a save already, with upgrades for BBL, post-plant, and barely any utility used, at least from the perspective of Movistar KOI. They'd be running into a ton of delay, salvo post-plant, snakebite for PROFEK, all, and the Blade Storm still for LewN, with a massive man disadvantage. They've got to fight for the next. Double digits for BBL, and they pretty much locked that in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a few spots on this map that if I see a Blade Storm coming into a round, I'm thinking there's a good chance that guy dives there. One of them is the mid-tube, but I guess it just never crossed the mind of Grubinho. And for him to be the solo B-site defender is a real terrifying prospect. And already, you can understand for the side of BBL, if they try and just hump for these, the last man having a Spectre, and
he took the safe, but with players losing their lives right at the end, it's Bulldogs, a Guardian in play, lots of weaknesses, LewN tagged up, but a lot of that comes back online with the wall. sheydos provides cover from up top, but the plant, it's undeniable.
I'm still invested into this one. No ultimates available for BBL in this moment. Looking at the sniper of PROFEK, a chance to rain damage down. Shields are minimal. Only Grubinho has the option here, but the cleanup is fantastic. Jamppi's done well, though. He needs to try and eliminate all three remaining players. An ace necessary. sheydos peeks ahead of things. If there's anybody outside the B site, they're just going to get wrecked by the Hunter's Fury. But there's nobody there. And now the A site severely vulnerable. There might be an attempt to try and catch the player before they can actually plant. That's risky. Just the jump up, but they're going to try and isolate sociablEE, but that's easier said than done. flyuh literally flying through the air to try and get rid of him, and they're all looking to just fight sociablEE right now. Almost the entirety of the squad are battling one guy. The rest of the team have taken the site, but that's a big kill to find. Being able to remove one, now gets into a 1v1 battle versus MAGNUM. This time has a rifle to hand, but won't be able to hold on to things. Clearing this back angle onto PROFEK and leaving just Jamppi remaining.
Fuse has already started. The wall's going to give perfect cover. It's almost fully diffused, and indeed, before Jamppi can swing, it's already
witnessed the front side aside, but the goal here was just to deny the orbs. He actually gets sociablEE behind, but then LewN. He's been so good on this jet entry. Almost unstoppable. The headshot onto soulcas, one of the easiest kill Jamppi's ever going to find. When you put that jet in the hands of a Turkish duelist, you know roughly what you're going to get. Almost a gap given, a lot of damage connected. LewN's still in an aggressive spot, though, just not missing a beat on the jet. 22-10 right now. This has been his series.
He dashes, gets his dash on with 2 quick kills, and goes again. That was beautiful to witness that entry. Grubinho 1v3 after picking off LewN. In that same aggressive position we've seen before. 1 HP on MAGNUM, like you say. Snakebite already sent in, but MAGNUM up top, he's flying under the radar, or maybe over it. Doesn't look like the punish will be there. Oh no, he's actually got it. Time to charge. He's got the rifle, and of course the drone sent out by flyuh clears out a lot of this space. Lockdown comes into play, and they want to cut off rotations. flyuh does well to find his ones, and they will just back off immediately. They know now the rotate's coming into A. Ready for this fight. The Viper wall is going to come up a little late, as they've already crossed in. LewN in position, ready and waiting. Deep Viper's pit in play. LewN has to hold that angle, and he'll only get the one. The pit won't stop them if they push around the backside, and that's a big problem. With only one player making his way through, it's Grubinho that could definitely be in trouble, but the ult used, it actually catches the player closer. The PROFEK still good to sit inside the pit, stabbed in the back by Grubinho. Nano goes into play, and they're both low for BBL, and for Movistar KOI, another 2-0 defeat. This puts them to the position where they almost definitely can't take it across the line. And LewN's dash in decimates Grubinho. sheydos goes down in the dirt as well, and LewN ain't done yet. He's in the spawn. flyuh finally puts him to bed, but LewN's gotten BBL a 4v3.
It's like watching like a an old school, like, I don't know, a Durka or a Kellogg's or something like that, where it's just like, I'm not going to stop fighting you until you put me down. A man advantage again. Ultimates all gone, dissipated. Nice work from Filu, will at least make it competitive. In fact, he finds a double. But Jamppi's lurking through the backlines. Magnum looking to play up close, needs to deny this defusal. Filu with another, and actually, it's too far away from Jamppi. He could just defuse in front of his nose. Nothing that can be done. Filu with a light
BBL either knocking on the door of that victory or claiming it cleanly for Movistar KOI.
This was genuinely insane.
Considering how we started it out.
Having something in this round, the A-Site simulator, the Icebox of old. As they look to fight this again, and while flyuh stuck in no man's land, but Filu has dealt with LewN and gets his ult online.
Yeah, the ult though, whether it's going to be used or not, they're already close. He's got to clear them out first. Damn good try of it so far. Down goes the shield. 3 versus 3. For Movistar KOI, all players on site. They don't know if they've gone back at this point. Soon they'll find out that Sociable is up top, looking for a battle and finding it. Filu with another though. He is dragging this team across the line, kicking and screaming, but he'll finally fall. Loosening his grip on the map as 12-9 could turn into 13.